So we've all had like a small feud going on with people where you think that if you can do something back to them after they've done something to you, then everything will be solved. And a man by the name of Miller said it's far easier to forgive an enemy after you've gotten even with them. And to me personally, I don't think that's true, because that was, about 5-6 years ago, my buddy and I got into a feud that lasted for a good 2 years. He threw me into the boards while we were playing hockey and almost broke my leg. And so for like the next 2 years we went back and forth trying to even each other out, which didn't really work until he moved away. But it can also go into like professional sports, where like in hockey, if somebody throws a cheap shot, it's not only brings in one player, but the entire team gets into it. And so that just fuels the fire, and nothing really ever gets solved. Even if like somebody is traded to that team that they're got a feud with, things really don't get buried. It may look like it during the games and stuff, but in their personal lives, things probably really don't solve. And so, if something is done, things never really get solved. Things just tend to get worse. And so somebody just ends up getting hurt at the end. Maybe not just one person, but a group of people. And so, and then, another example I had when I was 6, the guy down the street took a shovel and whacked me in my back with it. So I went home and grabbed a broom, and while he was walking into his house, and charging up the lawn, jabbed the broom into his back. And that really didn't turn out well, so we ended up having like a rock war, throwing rocks at each other, and it's gotten worse. He broke my window in my room, and I broke about half the things that he liked in his room, and so things just never seem to have gotten even between us. But so even if you think something will get solved by getting even, it really just fuels the fire and makes things even worse. And thanks.
We're missing a part of it. It's okay.
Oh, the bonfire.
Yeah. Kyle, the introduction was fine. The thesis statement's very clearly stated. I think that was the best part of the speech. You've got a point that you're going to try and make. But there's no setup of the structure, and I think once you get started on your story, you just are sort of milling around and waiting for the next idea to come to you. About halfway through, you do remember the other story about when you were a kid. And that was kind of a cute story, and there's a lot more detail on it than there was in the earlier example. So I think that one might have even worked better as your first illustration. Like I said, there's a structure in the sense that there are two parts to the speech, but that's not something that you set up ahead of time. On your presentation, you're very low-key. You seem kind of confident, but very quiet, and your energy level is low. And when you slow down, it makes it seem even lower. You've got a few indicators, but this is also a lot where some of your nervousness and anxiety comes out. You've got the face-scratching, pant-tugging blues. You know, it's like one of those things where every time you get a little anxious about something, you're doing one of these kinds of things with your hand, and so your anxiety seems to be coming out in your hands. There's some variation in your facial expressions, but it's very subtle, and the one place where it's noticeable is at the end of the speech when you get a little nervous, then you've got that nervous smile that's going on there. A little inconsistent on the eye contact. At the end of the speech, I did appreciate that you went back and tried to remind us of the point that you're trying to make, and if you're going to finish off, that's an effective way of doing it. All right. Could we get Fabian coming up and getting a topic and sending Shannon in, please?